Welcome to our virtual broadcast here at First Unitarian Church of Toledo. Thank you for joining us on YouTube. Our only announcements today are to remember you can still buy World's Finest Chocolate by contacting us. You can comment below if you're interested or reach out to us at office@uutoledo.org. You can also reach out to the office if you're not currently receiving our FYI and would like to. That's the best way to stay involved with the weekly goings-on of our church. We hope to see you there.
Our opening words today are "Blessed is the Sky" by Eric Williams. Blessed is the sky and all that is warm and filled with light. Blessed is the air and all that is open and free. Blessed is the earth and all that is steady and firm. Blessed is the sea and all that is hidden and deep. For our chalice lighting, it will come from the words by Jennifer McLaughlin, like the first tint of green. As the first hint of green begins to peek through the barren ground, as that little sprig grows into a healthy stem, as that stem grows into a stalk and forms a bud, as that bud slowly opens with each new day to form a yellow daffodil, let us be like that first hint of green, renewed by the warmth of the sun's rays, and ready to emerge with a new energy, ready to face the day. We light this chalice to bring a glimmer of that warmth into our space.
Our hymn today is number 21, "For the Beauty of the Earth." Oh, I apologize. We didn't do the covenant.
We will now recite the covenant, which will be on your screen. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
Now please join us in singing "For the Beauty of the Earth," number 21. For the beauty of the earth, for the splendor of the skies, for the love which from our birth over all around us lies, source of all to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise. For the joy of ear and eye, for the heart and mind's delight, for the mystic harmony, linking sense to sound and sight, source of all to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise. For the wonder of each hour of the day and of the night, hill and vale and tree and flower, sun and moon and stars of light, source of all to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise. For the joy of human care, sisters, brothers, sibling, child, for the kinship we all share, for all gentle thoughts and mild, source of all to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise.
Good morning. Happy Earth Day. Our story today is Sustaining the Tree of Life by Lynn Gardner, and it's been adapted for our use today. The tree stood in the middle of the village. Its trunk was so large that it took 6 people holding hands to reach around it. The roots were strong and wide, and its branches spread out over the village square, offering shelter from the rain or shade from the summer sun. Its fruit was juicy, sweet, and plentiful. The people of the village loved the tree. The children played beneath it and climbed its lowest branches. Young people knew that if you whispered your dreams to the tree, they were more likely to come true. People who proclaimed their love or friendship for one another beneath its branches found their relationships to be nourishing, and elders discovered that their sweetest memories could be counted on when they were near the great tree. Animals loved the tree too. Rabbits lived in burrows underneath the roots. Squirrels and monkeys lived in the branches. And bats and birds flew in to eat the abundant fruit. The tree seemed to buzz with life. One day, a traveling merchant arrived in the village. He rested in the shade and ate 2 pieces of delicious fruit. "This fruit is incredible," he said. "I would like to have some to sell in the next villages that I visit. Who owns this tree?" "No one owns this tree," replied a villager. "If anything, we belong to it." "Well, then, if no one owns the tree, then no one will mind if I pick the fruit," said the merchant, and began to fill a basket. "I mind," said the villager, "and today I'm the keeper of the tree." "What do you mean, keeper of the tree?" "We each take our turn being here with the tree. We could never own it. We are here as protectors, as sustainers." "That's ridiculous. This tree doesn't need you. You could just take what you need, take what you want. The tree will continue." "We are keepers of the tree because this is where we are nourished. This is where some of our most precious memories are, and where our people have dreamed. This is where we remember who we want to become." "Well," said the merchant, "you may think this tree is very special, but it still doesn't need you to sit with it." "That is preposterous." "Ah," said the villager, "the tree itself does not need me, but what of others who come by? Just this morning I sat with a woman whose heart was heavy with worry. Had I not been there, she would have had to carry that weight alone. And this afternoon, a tired couple came by, and they rested with me. They said they had been looking for a place like this. And then an elder came by, and we watched the birds in the branches together. And now you are here. You were confused about what this tree is and how to be with it. Imagine if you had arrived and not found anyone here to talk with. You might have continued to think that everything you do is about you. Luckily for you, my friend, I'm here to let you know that when you care for the tree of life, it becomes so much more than just you. And the merchant sat for a while in the shade, thinking about these ideas that felt new and a little challenging. As the sun went down, he picked up his bag and headed out of town, whistling a song he hadn't thought of in years. On his way, he shared a smile with each person he met, his heart feeling strangely light and joyful. And the people of the village? They continued to sustain the tree of life, to care for one another, and share their gifts with grace and gratitude. May it be so for each of us.
As we enter into a period of meditation, contemplation, and prayer, we are mindful that there are those among us who are suffering from illness, from loss, from the continuing isolation during a pandemic. We also recognize that there are many among us who are celebrating moments of joy in their own lives or that of their friends and family. Both suffering and joy may be shared in these quiet moments. Our musical sermon today is an imagined revisit of the Genesis creation story in the Judeo-Christian tradition. There are many creation stories in other faith and belief traditions, but today we will reflect on the Genesis story as it might be seen today. What if being created in the image of God means not that God is anthropomorphic, that is, that we look like him or her, but that we are capable of being co-creators in the ongoing process of creation? Unfortunately, we are also capable of creating chaos, destruction, and division. How can we repurpose our creativity to better care for the earth? How can we become active co-creators of a better normal as we slowly come out of the pandemic? Let us consider these questions during our moment of silence.
Spirit of life, come to me, sing in my heart all the strength of compassion. Rise in the sea, moving the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Rose, holy rose, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
Our reading today is from Genesis 2, New Life Version. There are actually two stories of creation in Genesis. This is part of one of them. The Lord God planted a garden to the east in Eden. He put the man there whom he had made. And the Lord God made to grow out of the ground every tree that is pleasing to the eyes and good for food. And he made the tree of life grow in the center of the garden, and the tree of learning of good and bad. Some say that after Adam and Eve ate the tree of learning good and bad, thus learning duality, as opposed to divine unity, they were expelled from Eden so that they could not eat of the tree of life and live forever in duality.
Creation, a sequel, or Garden of Eden 2. I wrote this play a gazillion years ago. Unfortunately, the issues that it raises are still with us and even more dire. 8 years ago, members of this congregation performed the play as a part of a green sanctuary service. That 8 years ago kind of shocked me. I didn't realize how long ago it had been. But we decided that it was time for a reprise, and so it's been rewritten to be performed in our broadcast to YouTube services. So this will be the Green Sanctuary service, Creation, a sequel, or Garden of Eden 2. Scene 1, prologue.
Hi, my name is Gabrielle. I'm an angel. Yeah, I know. You're wondering, where's the halo and wings? Halos and wings went out with the Middle Ages. I'm a modern angel, for heaven's sake. You've probably never seen a real angel before. For one thing, you're probably too busy to notice. And you're more tuned into cell phones, iPads, social media, and television than into mystical vision. Besides, we don't really like to visit any more often than we have to. Let me put it this way. If you can stay in heaven, or if you had to go instead to Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C., which would you choose? But the other day, God asked me to pay a little visit to Toledo. And since it was Toledo, and since I really don't like to turn him down, well, here I am. You're used to titles and a little drama in the things you watch. So let's call this little vision Creation, a sequel, or maybe Garden of Eden 2. Imagine the city of Eden in the near future. The sky is yellow. Litter is knee-deep. The brook doesn't babble anymore. It just lies there, green, with a thick, dull, glassy coating. If there are any birds left, they don't sing. There is only one tree left, a thin, scrawny little thing next to the chapel. The houses lie in the shadow of a huge, windowless, multi-story building, seething with activity. At the top of the building, bright neon letters identify the mega conglomerate, Amalgamated Syndication Products, better known as ASP.
Scene 2, the boardroom of ASP.
We love chemicals and cash. Don't care if we pollute with trash. We love plundering the earth, cutting trees for all they're worth. Don't care at all about the smoke, or if all the rivers choke. We love killing seals and goats, so their skins to make fur coats. We love building factories to make anything we please. Don't care at all about the smoke, or if all the rivers choke.
Oh, I sure hate these masks. But there seems to be a pollution inversion alert. Again. Or a virus.
Well,
At least I wear the latest designer mask. Couldn't you find something to match your suit a little better?
I've called this meeting together to fill you all in on the latest news. Operation Cobra has been a complete success. ASP has bought a controlling interest in Serpentine Industries. Now that we own SI, we control everything in Eden. Look at the map. Every pin represents an ASP affiliate. We own it all.
Congratulations, Mr. Viper.
I knew we could do it, sir.
Boa, take a letter. Boa.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Viper, but you said to look at the map, and I was wondering, what is this little place? It seems to be the only spot that doesn't have a pin in it.
Why, the pin must have fallen out. ASP owns everything. We control the world.
That's strange. I don't see any pin, and it couldn't have got swept out with the trash. We haven't had a trash collection in 3 weeks.
No trash collection in 3 weeks? What's this you're saying? That's impossible. We own the trash collection agency. Of course there's been a collection every week.
Well, no, sir, I'm afraid not. Something about all the landfills being used up. I was going to investigate, but I had to squelch that protest in Eden Forest. All that nonsense about cutting down the last tree. As if a forest needed trees.
Well, check into it this instant. Boa, stop bothering about that pin and take a letter.
But, sir, it looks like there has never ever been a pin in this spot.
But that's impossible. I tell you, ASP owns everything. Just ask our chief accountant, Miss Adder.
Well, sir, there does seem to be this little chapel.
What? You mean to tell me there is something ASP doesn't own?
Oh, if it's only a chapel, sir.
Oh, you know, that must be Adam's Unitarian Universalist chapel. I remember he has a tree. When we cut down the last tree in that forest, we told everybody they could at least look at this one.
A chapel and a tree? Why wasn't I informed about this? Miss Black, I want a full investigation. Miss Diamond, I want a report on my desk by tomorrow morning at the latest. Miss Adder, check into this Adams's credit. I'm sure we can buy him out, but let's not offer him any more than we absolutely necessary. Boa, come to my office this instant and take a letter.
Scene 3, Adam's very first Unitarian Universalist chapel.
That is one of my favorite anthems. But I'm afraid we've destroyed an awful lot of the earth's beauty.
Now, Adam, don't be so gloomy. The choir won't think you appreciate their music.
Oh, but I do appreciate their music, Eve dear. It's just that I think we need to do something more than just sing about the beauty of the earth.
We're looking for a man named Adam or Adams. Is he here?
I'm Adam, and this is my wife, Eve.
Viper here, chairman of the board of Amalgamated Syndication Products. And this is Miss Adder, our chief accountant.
Yes, I've heard your name before. My son, Abel, was a farmer. Now he works in your agricultural department.
Ah, yes, that would be the Agrichem division. So much more efficient than old-fashioned farming.
I believe that our son Cain works with you too. Some sort of animal research?
Well, that could be true. It's a big company. I'd have to check our personnel data.
Well, let's get straight to the point here, Adams. It has come to my attention that you own a certain property. Give us the details, Ms. Adder.
That would be outlot number 526, situated at the corner of Elm Street and Brook Lane in the city of Eden. In other words, this property we're standing on.
I guess that would be this property, but it is actually owned by the members of the chapel. I just work here.
Now, see here, Adams.
The name is Adam, Mr. Viper.
Adam, we're men of the world. You know, and I know that you can influence this group of people to do what you want. Now, ASP is interested in acquiring this little property. We'd like to develop its full potential. We have the resources to make this property work for the benefit of all the peoples of Eden. But I'm a fair and just man. I'm willing to make it worth your while. Not only will I offer this little group of people a fair market price for their property, but I'm prepared to offer you a real job. You'll be a senior vice president. You'll have a nice office, a secretary.
Oh, I don't know.
Adams, we're talking a six-figure salary here. You can give this little woman that nice fur coat she's been wanting.
Oh, Adam.
Mr. Viper, I simply must have time to think about this. My decision affects so many people.
Of course, Adams. Take your time. I'll be back tomorrow for your answer. Come along, Ms. Adder. Let's see our lawyers about drawing up the papers.
Shouldn't we save the earth, love the forest and the trees? Shouldn't we save the earth? Shouldn't we save the world, love the creatures of the seas? Shouldn't we save the earth? Shouldn't
chemicals and cash.
we save the
If we pollute with trash,
earth?
we love plundering the earth,
and
cutting trees for all their worth. Don't care at all about the smoke,
Save
or if
the
all the rivers choke.
earth.
Love
Shouldn't
killing seals and goats, so
save
their
the
skins to make fur coats.
Love
love
the
building factories,
creatures of
make
the
anything we please. Don't care at
Shouldn't
all about the smoke,
we save
or if
the
all the rivers
earth?
choke.
Scene 4, intro.
Poor Adam. What do you think he will decide? The last time I visited Earth, I saw a modern play where the audience got to vote about the outcome. So let's make this a modern vision. I'll show you 2 different endings, and then you can decide how you want it to end.
Scene 4, ending 1, the next day.
Choir, I feel really uncomfortable about selling out to ASP. My own sons work for them. The agrochem division is bad enough. Abel and the other farmers use mega pesticides, herbicides, and production chemicals to increase food production, and in the process pollute the soil and the streams. But Cain works for a division which has consolidated all the animal production, fishing, and all the trapping industries. As individual industries, they caused a lot of unnecessary animal suffering and slaughter, but ASP takes it one step further. They use hormones to produce bigger animals, so they need fewer of them. Their PRS policy is a planned reduction of species.
Well, what difference will it make if we don't sell? There's nothing we can do.
If they buy the chapel, they will probably cut down our tree, and it's the very last one in Eden.
Oh, it's only a tree. I, for one, could use the money.
I heard a rumor at the beauty shop that they want this property to use as a landfill. All the other landfills are full. That's why our garbage is knee-deep. There hasn't been a collection in weeks.
Then what Mr. Viper said is true. The chapel property would serve the common good.
You can't stand in the way of progress. I say sell, sell, sell.
If you can't beat 'em, join 'em, I always say.
It isn't my chapel, it's yours. It's yours. Mr. Viper will be here any minute now and hear my decision. Are you all in favor of selling?
Yeah,
I say so. Why not?
I say sell.
And so Adam sold the chapel, bought Eve a new fur coat, and became a senior vice president at ASP. ASP cut down the last tree and used the chapel property as a landfill until it too filled up. Then the earth died, buried in its own waste, pollution, and corruption.
Scene 5, ending 2, the next day.
I know God made a promise that he would never destroy the world again, but we seem to be doing a pretty good job of destroying it ourselves. Maybe it's time we took a stand. Abel has decided to leave ASP and join a group of farmers who are using organic farming techniques.
Cain wants to leave ASP too. He's decided to join the Humane Society and save animals rather than kill them.
Maybe, as a group, we could make a difference.
If they buy the chapel, they will probably cut down our tree. And it's the very last one in Eden.
Trees are not just decoration. I think we should plant more trees on our property and encourage all of our members to plant trees too.
I heard a rumor at the beauty shop that they want this property to use as a landfill. All the other landfills are full. That's why our garbage is knee-deep. There hasn't been a collection in weeks.
But a new landfill would fill up soon. We have to reduce our garbage by recycling, reducing, and reusing. That's something we can all do.
It's time we looked at progress in the light of its effect on our environment.
It's going to take time, but we have to start now.
Well, Mr. Viper will be here any minute now to hear our decision. What shall I say?
No, no way.
No way, never.
I think this calls for a celebration.
So they all sang a hymn as they celebrated a new commitment to care for the earth and guard it.
For the beauty of the earth, for the splendor of the skies, for the love which from our birth over and around us lies, source of all, to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise.
Scene 6, Epilogue. How does it end?
Well, how do you want it to end? It's up to you. If you vote for ending 1, do nothing at all. If you vote for ending 2, then continue to listen to the service and recommit to caring for Mother Earth.
The end or a new beginning?
This concludes our sermon. Thank you, everyone who has been involved, and our wonderful production crew. It's a joy to see people in the church. We've come now to a time of offering. If you are able, please join us at uutoledo.org. There are links in the YouTube description box, and you can learn more about our mission and the work we do here in Toledo. If you'd prefer to contribute through snail mail, you can reach us at 3205 Glendale Avenue. Every little bit helps, and we appreciate your involvement in the life of our church. Next week, we will have our spiritual adventures at 10 a.m. over Zoom. This will be an open discussion, The Mothers in Our Lives, hosted by Elliot Adams.
And next week on YouTube at our channel, Toledo Unitarians, the Reverend Dr. T.K. Barger will be presenting Thoughts on Prayers.
We invite you, as every week, to join us on Zoom for our virtual coffee hour immediately after service. That meeting code and password is available in the YouTube description box or in your FYI. Hope to see you there.
Our closing words today are Cooperation for Human Creativity by Denise Cawley. And this at home is your recommitment to Mother Earth. So at the end of the reading, please respond as you wish with "we will." Love our earth. Take action to consume less. Use less energy. Respect water. And be cooperative, collaborative, and creative community. Like the moss and the mushrooms, our children's lives depend on us. And so respond, "we will." And as Mickey extinguishes the chalice, we will reflect on these words by Thich Nhat Hanh. We have to walk in a way that we only print peace and serenity on the earth. Walk as if you are kissing the earth with your feet. Go in peace. Amen.